It's record. Oh, my bad.
Oh, no problem.
It's recording. I'm here with Shmoney Mo. Welcome back to the pod. There's people walking by. This is interesting. Yeah,
Thanks for having me, bro. It's good to be back in Charlotte.
yeah, people probably think we're famous, but this is interesting. I've never done something like this. But yeah, man, I don't really have any. I don't really have any topic. Like I just kind of like raw dogging it. like yeah, I couldn't really think of anything to come up with, but let's see. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? How's life?
May I?
Yeah, yeah, you know.
Well, I just graduated from college after 5 long years. And as you can see, I'm back home in Charlotte rocking the Bus City gear. So it's good to be back, living with mom and dad, younger brother for a bit. Good to be back. And thanks for having me. Hit the ground running.
For sure. I really liked our first episode and thought it was a good discussion. I guess we could start off on a trending topic. What do you think of, since you're in music and you're still making music, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. What's your thoughts on like the Kendrick, Drake beef, Drake Cole?
That's a good question. I would say that, for one, I gave the Euphoria track a listen. Very much enjoyed it. I'm not sure if you heard, but Macklemore actually dropped a very relevant track.
The Palestine.
Yes, I think it's called Heinz Hall. And a lot of people are pointing out, like, how can we just be consuming stuff that, like, doesn't really shed light on what's happening or just outright ignores it. So with regards to that beef, I'd like to point out that a lot of people feel like it's kind of a distraction from what's happening. Not to say that there's no space for art. Like, I still create throughout all of this. But I definitely do want to give credit where it's due. I haven't heard too much from Macklemore recently, but that track sounds really great. And I did really enjoy Euphoria. It was very clever.
So, my takes on this are, I do feel like it's a distraction. I think it's honestly, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of gay. Like I'm gonna be honest with my audience, bro. I might bleep that out for YouTube, but it's just like why are we so concerned? I get people are like interested in like battle rap and all that, but why are we so concerned with like this thing when obviously there's stuff going on in Palestine and they're like, oh, J. Cole's better, oh, Kendrick, and like, bro, this is like for kids, like that. I really like the Macklemore track. I saw people sharing it, but I guess kind of switching the topic. Was there? I know you went to like NC State. Can I say that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You went to NC State. Was what was it like there? Like, was there the student encampment? They had it set up, or how was that? Cause I know what happened in Charlotte, but like I want to hear what happened with.
Yeah, so in Raleigh, actually, there is a huge Muslim population, but even besides Muslim, just Palestinian. A ton of Palestinians, like Arabs from the Levant area. So they're very involved. I'm talking like they do protests and demonstrations every week. And they just throw flyers up in the WhatsApp chat and boom, demonstrating. And that's our right as Americans. I'm very grateful we got to do that. I participated in a few marches. They do stuff like go to town hall meetings because it's the capital city, right? So that's where a lot of the local legislation is made. Got to be in a few marches, which was pretty exciting. But they're very, very, very involved over there. So I'm very proud to say that I got to be a part of that while I was living in Raleigh.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm sure you saw what was going down in Charlotte, and shout out to the students there at UNC Charlotte. I thought it was a very like brave thing to do. We saw it back in the Vietnam days. But I was just, there was some people in like Charlotte group chat. I don't want to say names, but like I was having this battle of because I got invited to go to the student encampment, and I had been putting it off. But I was like, let me go. Uh, but then that morning, the police raided it. But then there was one girl who brought up, maybe it's not best for non-students to go. This is like a student thing, because there's a potential of getting arrested, and you know, I was under the impression to go because I'm an alumni. So, maybe I should go support. But I did understand, okay, if somebody doesn't go like because they're a non-student, that makes sense. But then again, the students also need help because there's not many of them. It's like, what's your thoughts on that? Like,
I personally haven't gone to an encampment. Yeah, I feel like this is like a very new thing. For the longest, it's been, traditional protests and marches, but only recently tensions have been bubbling up, and you see a lot of the demonstrations on college campuses. So in the past, that's always been how it's gone down. Like, this has been the pathway for tremendous change. Was college involvement, college campus involvement, because those are the young people, right? Those are the people who are going to be in entry level positions, or even, leading our governments very soon. So I think it's great to observe it. I haven't been to an encampment myself personally, but I wouldn't be opposed.
yeah, I was very interested to go. I was, even if I got arrested. But, yeah, man, free Palestine. Keep it going. Keep it going in the news. We have to put pressure on our government, on the U.S. I might cut this part out. I'm gonna ask you a question, and depending on if you're okay with putting it out or not, I may not be.
Let's talk, man.
But
We ain't got a million views just
Yeah.
yet, so let's just talk.
no, you might like. I don't know if you want to have this public, but I'm still like concerned about it. But like, if the country goes to war, so I guess we're in obviously Charlotte. We see all the people around us, and it's a crowded city. This guy's with his card on, loud as hell. You could probably still hear us. But shifting to the topic, I think, how old are you?
I'm 23.
23. So
You want to come this way?
yeah, like what's been on my mind a lot is taking care of my family and finances and starting a potential family, inshallah. But I think a lot of brothers out there need to decide to work on themselves and truly build that discipline before they choose to do things like start a family. So I was with a brother recently, one of my close friends. I had him on the podcast, and he said something that really struck me. He was like, we were talking just about falling off, being lazy, and vices. And he's like, I became addicted to discipline. And it's easier said than done, but I was like, that made me rethink, okay, I need to do that. I need to become addicted to discipline so I can be a better person for my family, my future family, current and future. And like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, what are you preparing for, like, right now as a 23-year-old, just in everything?
Got some great questions, Hadis. Excuse me, my allergies are. You're gonna have to cut this part. I'm gonna start hacking and sneezing. Woo. Thank you.
Say your alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Sure, you can come by in a few. Hairy Man Talks.
Yes.
This is the hairy man right
Yes. Can't even see.
here. He's a hairy man. Look
Yeah.
at him.
I'm hairy, bro.
He's a hairy man.
Yeah. This man. We're not afraid of discussion, bro. I don't know about having women on, but I'm not afraid of discussion.
What was the
But
question, man?
I forgot. You threw me off.
You talk about what are you preparing for as a 23-year-old?
Yeah, like, so what are you preparing for? Like, is it a family? Is it just it's a career? Is it just I want to know what's on your mind as a Muslim American
Yeah.
23-year-old. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so the question was, what am I preparing for as a 23-year-old? Um, I would say fixing my sleep schedule first, cause I just graduated and whatnot, and the college schedule, you be up till 11:59 trying to turn in some assignment, and I kind of turn into a night creature of some sort. So my sleep is really not optimized at all. I kind of just wake up when I wake up, um, and I gotta fix that, bro. Like, I'm trying to fix the simple things first, cause that's what's gonna allow me to have the energy to do the other stuff. So like, sleeping at the same time every night, waking up earlier.
Discipline.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. That you were talking about discipline, discipline is just doing what you don't want to do. Like, that's the skill of doing what you need to do, especially when you don't feel like it.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. So sleep, um, getting my diet in shape, get my body in shape.
I see you in the gym.
You did see,
Saw a story.
when did you see me?
I saw you doing like cable flies or something.
Really? Oh, wow.
That's good.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to just do the simple things very well.
My advice as an older guy, I mean, some younger guys know more than me, but as an older guy, you probably are better at this than me, but I don't know. I'm just giving people out their advice. Do it slowly. Like, don't try to do something all at once. Take baby steps. Like, okay, I want to start eating good. Do it for like 1 day a week, then 2 days a week, then 3 days.
Yep.
Build slowly. But yeah, I love that. I love that mindset. What I was thinking about also today is like, the guy noticed us doing a podcast. Like, everybody has a podcast,
I know.
and I feel like am I being cliche for doing a podcast? But then I'm like, who cares? Like, I like putting content out. I like people looking back at it, seeing it, building my portfolio, and having good conversations. But it kind of annoys me that everyone has a podcast, which is also good because everyone has a voice now. But then you see all these clips and you're like, bro, they didn't have to say that. Like, but I guess freedom of speech, like, what do you think with all these podcasts and stuff? Like,
I don't think it's cliche that you have a podcast. I think it's just like, I mean, you could say I'm cliche for making music. Like, everybody my age is making music. And it's like, what do you like to do creatively? It looks like you like to talk to people and trigger, some good discussion. I like to express myself creatively through music. And you said something before the camera cut on, actually, that would just, it really hit home for me. And I'd like to ask you about it. So, just for context, we're out here, Camp North End, Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a Saturday in the summer. It's a great day. It's a lot of people, kids, families walking around, dogs. And before you started the camera, you said, "Oh, I just gotta shoot my content," and I was like, that's the buzzword for 2023, 2024, just forever onward. And then you said, "Yeah, it's either shoot this content or work a 9 to 5," and that really hit home for me. So I'd like you to just elaborate on what you meant. Create content or work a 9 to 5. What do you mean by that? Go.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I think there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I think that's good. If you have a family, if you just want to have a career in that, perfectly fine. I'm just not built for it.
Yep.
I just think I have a skill set. I can make money other ways. I'm good at it. Obviously, you can always improve, but people have told me, you're good at it. I enjoy it. I think if you do something and you enjoy it, you're going to make money. The time will come. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 wanting to provide for your family. But it's just like, this life is very short, and you don't want to be miserable. Like, even in Islam, Allah says you can enjoy this life as long as you're being halal and on the deen. So why not fulfill your purpose? Do something that you're good at. And I think a lot of influencers talk about this, where this is kind of switching the topic, but similar. It's about content. Like, you end up watching so much content that you're just repeating the same thing of what the people are watching, and you're not living your own experiences. And I kind of fell into that, where I'm sitting at home after work or whatever, watching all this content, but I'm not creating. I'm not living my own life. I'm living through others. So if they're doing it, they're making money. Why not me? And I know they're not. They had to learn. They started off in a place where they were a little dumb about things and had to learn business, had to learn how to monetize. So why not me? And I think people look at content, they think it's easy. It's not. It's discipline. It's coming up with ideas. It's being able to shoot, and there's people walking by and having the confidence, because I didn't start off like that. Like, I was kind of nervous right now, but as soon as the camera's going, I'm ready, and I know you're the same way. So that's why it's aligning with people, and then also sorry, I'm rambling, but
Nah, go for it, bro.
it's also the beauty of content is you meet people who also, and you can involve them who don't make content. So just like knowledgeable people, sit down with them, talk. I'm gonna have an imam soon sitting with me,
Okay.
and that's kind of the trouble I've had. Maybe you can. I'm gonna ask you this question: Is I'm a human. I sin. I sin a lot. Where Muslims can sin. The best of sinners are the ones who repent. But I'll put out this content, okay, promoting Islam, saying all these things, but then I sin, and I feel like, okay, I'm a hypocrite. I'm posting this content. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, do you feel the same way? Or?
Let me grab my bottle real quick.
Yeah. He's about to go in.
Yours? Looks like you're
Yeah.
almost out. We need to refill you.
Yeah, I'll be good.
All
That's a deep question.
Yeah,
Take your
a good
time.
question. Could you ask the question one more time?
So, like, there's people that put out content for Islam, and I push Islam a lot. I'm not like a just Muslim channel, but I try to stay on Deen and just post halal content only. No women, no nothing derogatory, um, good conversations, halal content. But then I feel like if I push the message, people are like, oh, but you've done this and you've done that, and how you're a hypocrite. Um, Maybe that's just imposter syndrome. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's very natural. I think it's something everyone feels to an extent. Even if you're not religious, like people saying one thing and then feeling like, okay, well, I said I do this thing, so now the pressure's on me to live up to that expectation. But I don't think you should ever stop saying good things or spreading good messages just because, you aren't exactly the picture perfect definition of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the more you say, the more you say, the more you say, the more you kind of ingrain it into your behavior for some people. And it's also like, okay, well, either way you're a sinner, either way you make mistakes, you slip up. So does that mean I should just like not say anything or like say negative stuff? No, like I think just the important thing is managing our judgment, because it's very easy to judge other people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, he said this, but he does this. But it's like, I also do that in a different way. It might not be to the extent that this person does it or in the way that they do it, but I still do it in some ways or another. So it's something everyone experiences, even myself. When you ask that,
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was done.
I fell into this where I would judge people because I was on the straight path, and I would judge them like, yo, how come this guy's sinning? And like, he could be doing this and this. And then you think it's kind of a messed up thing, but you think you're better than them in a pious sense, which you're not. Nobody knows who's better than who. But Allah says, quote me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong, but Allah says if you judge somebody for a sin and you think they're better than them, you will be tested with that same sin. And I'm gonna be honest with the camera, I felt that. That happened to me. I judged somebody for a sin, and Allah brought that sin in my life and tested me and said, what are you gonna do now? So never think you're better than anybody. Anybody can slip up. We're human. We're not the prophets. So, but as long as you're trying, as long as you're aware of, I'm doing this thing wrong, I need to quit. I need to be better with my prayers. But then also you have to be actionable about it, because it's very easy to fall into a hole of sin. But what's beautiful is Allah will show you how painful that sin will make your life, and then He'll also show you how sweet the Deen is. Um, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I was just talking.
Thoughts on the question is?
Um, what do you think? Like, because people will sin, and they'll feel good in the moment, and it's also about battling the nafs. You've talked about nafs before, the desires. So I guess my question is, now I just thought of it. We're kind of just freestyling this, but battling the nafs is a tough thing, and it's like I don't know if I saw a quote somewhere, but it's like it was on Instagram. It's like trying to tame the nafs, or
Wild horse.
it's harder than taming a wild horse. So how do you go about that in today's world? Obviously, we live in U.S. We're in the summertime. There's temptation out here. There's you know, we're in the U.S. It's hard to avoid. It's thrown in our face, even on cell phones. How do you avoid sin? Because we all do it. Like,
You really hit me with these bangers, bro. I'd say environment is the most important thing. So, like most of the times when someone is caught up in a lifestyle that isn't the best, it's because their environment is influencing them negatively. I mean, I see it all the time. Even when I was living lifestyles that I probably, wouldn't be proud of today, I look back and I'm like, oh, it was just because I was hanging out with these people. No wonder I was doing these things, or like I was going to these places. No wonder, right? So I just say environment is the most important thing. Like, watch who you hang around. Like, really watch them and try to look at them unbiased. And like, I have people in my life who are, I'd say they're friends. They've always been good to me, but maybe the places they go or the things they do aren't what I want to do anymore. So you shouldn't feel guilty to just not go to those places. Like I have a friend. Really, the only time we see each other is when he invites me to exercise or like go swimming or like just be active. Like, he's a very healthy guy.
friend.
Yeah, exactly. But our relationship wasn't always like that. Like, we used to just hang out all the time, being in the wrong places, do the wrong stuff. And now, like, you just get older and you start to realize very quickly, like, what's worth my time and energy and what's not. So, environment. Watch the people around you, watch the places that you frequent, and then fix that first. Everything else will get better. Guaranteed. Like, guaranteed. There's no way you're going to be in a better place with better people and not do better things.
yeah, I think what helps me a lot with the Deen is it's tough, man. It's a struggle being on the straight path, but I truly think that's the only way to be happy, or not even happy, content. Because they say, like, if you did something horrendous, like kill somebody, your mother will forgive you. Most mothers will forgive their son. Like, that's still my son.
Yeah.
Allah loves you more than that.
Yeah.
So we forget that, and we look for from love from other places, and we neglect our meeting with Allah like 5 times a day. We fall back into sin. I'm guilty of it. We all are. But when you, like, just do one prayer, you've been missing your prayers. Just start one. Let's say you've been missing Zohar. Just start praying Zohar. You'll see the change, bro. Have you noticed that? Like, just from one prayer?
Yeah, bro. The hardest thing to do is get up for the sunrise prayer, bro. Like, that's by far, like, if you can master that, psh, I mean, there's a reason all these like millionaire, billionaire entrepreneurs, they get up at 5 a.m. like and they don't even pray. They just know that, like, that's the most, I guess you could say, sacred part of the day, where the most productive work gets done or what have you. So I mean, it's something that is in agreement with most humans, religious and non-religious. And I say that because it's like it wouldn't be a thing if it didn't work. Like nobody would be getting up at 5 a.m. if it didn't work.
Yeah.
And we got this revelation so many years ago. So yeah, I definitely think, just like you said, not trying to transform your life in one day, trying to do it baby steps at a time. Because if you try to just go full force and you just transform your life in one day, like, you're gonna get very demotivated very quickly, and then you're gonna be like, well, I can't keep this up. I can't go to the gym 7 days a week or whatever. So just start with one. Start with one prayer, one workout, one creative session like we're doing.
So I think we talked about this in our first episode we had and I've been hearing this topic a lot online, but like, for a man to truly be happy, he has to have a purpose. So, that's Islam, obviously, but Islam is so many things. Islam is taking care of your family. It's taking care of your body, your mind, your spirituality. So, if you're a man, you have to do these things. What's your thoughts on, like, solitude, like being completely alone? Because I've been finding it difficult. I'll reach out to friends, family, when I'm alone. But it's crazy because I remember a time when I used to enjoy being alone, and I would talk to myself. Sounds weird, right? It's not weird. Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Out loud in my room alone.
So, like, do you think that's necessary, or to have that alone time, talk to yourself? Like,
Yeah, bro, absolutely. I'm glad you brought it up, because if anyone else talks to themselves out loud in their room, completely alone, it's not weird. I think it's like a form of therapy, like kind of just like listening to what comes out of your mouth and why you say certain things. And then, I don't know, I think that's a very normal thing. Maybe you might need solitude for a period of your life just to make that transition. Like we were talking about environment. So like, let's say you're in a bad environment and you want to go to a good environment. Well, what's that in between step? You have to pull yourself away from the bad environment, and you're not just going to instantly find the good environment. You have to have a period of like solitude and like meditating and reflecting and like setting your intention to the next thing before you can actually hit it. And it's not going to take a day or a week even. Like, it's going to have to be a slow behavioral shift that gets you from point A to point B. So solitude is absolutely necessary. I mean, it might be uncomfortable, but like, you're not going to grow if you don't get uncomfortable. That's why people go exercise or study really hard for a test. It's the same kind of thing, I think.
I agree completely. What time are we at? We can keep going. I just don't know what to say. Name 3 countries.
Name 3 countries. Sudan, Palestine, United States of America. I'll throw 2 more. Mexico, Uruguay. I'll do 2 more. Russia and Ukraine. I could keep going, bro. You don't want to test my geography.
It's like, I watch a lot of DGen content, and they'll ask the girl. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I know exactly.
They'll ask the girls, like, name 3 countries. Like, they can't even name one. One girl was like,
Africa.
Yeah.
Africa.
That's sad, bro. That's kind of sad.
I want to believe that those things aren't real, bro. I feel like that just has to be fake, or maybe it's not. Maybe people are just that.
Talk about this. I guess this is a good topic. You're African American, right?
I'm African, American, not hyphen American. So,
But you were born here.
yeah, I was born here. So there's a difference. The reason I say that is because like my family immigrated from Sudan to the United States, so I'm African and American. But African hyphen American, that's a completely different culture, group of people. They've been here for generations in America. Yeah, so
Their ancestors.
right. So their ancestors originally from West Africa, but then the slave trade, and they ended up in America. So they've been here for generations. So
You know Nassif?
Nasib, yeah.
His family. He said he's been in Charlotte for, I don't know how many, like the longest time. I think over 300 years or something.
Really?
I have to ask him that, but when he told me, I was like, "Whoa, I've been here that long." And in Charlotte, that's just pretty crazy. But yeah, talk about that experience being black in America. I think like let me ask you this actually. What is when black people talk about the culture? What is the culture?
I don't know why you're asking me, bro. The culture, the culture is music, dance, clothing, pop culture.
Yeah.
Like, who are the most influential figures in the hip hop space? What are they saying, doing, acting like? And it's disappointing. It's disappointing to see that the culture is actually not it right now. Yeah, bro. Like look who's influencing our people now. Look what they're doing. Look how they're like dressing and talking and like their priorities. The culture is not it. So I mean, you can take what's good and you can just leave the rest. I think everyone should just be very careful about what they consume because like I mean, you said this earlier. It's for young people, like the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, like this culture stuff. I think it's for like young people. I think it's for like teenagers who like really care about that stuff. But I mean, as you get older, you like really have to filter out what you digest. Should still be rolling, I think. Are we good? Sweet. We keep going. Yeah, that's what I feel about the culture. I grew up listening to hip hop. I went to a black high school. I come from an immigrant family, which is something you can relate to. But then also, I just look outwardly black. So I experienced being black in America. Yeah, I'm Sudanese American. Yeah, it's very interesting culture shock, you could say. But I'm very happy to be who I am. I think everyone should be happy for who they are.
You see, you follow this guy named Myron, Fresh and Fit.
Myron Gaines?
Yeah, he's Sudanese.
Yes, bro. Oh my God.
Say
Let me say
something.
something. Bro. First of all, his name is not Myron Gaines. The brother is Sudanese. His name is Amru Fudul.
Really?
Amru Fudul. I only know that because another Sudanese guy told me.
Maybe he's doing it for like protective purposes.
I don't know, but it's just like maybe. But like you can Google it, bro, and it's just like, yeah, that brother is Sudanese. That's all I wanted to say. I know he's Sudanese.
Yeah. I don't want to shame the brother, but everyone has their own sins. But like, I just feel like if obviously he said he's not on Dean, so I can see why he's doing the podcast type content that he's doing. But I feel like just promoting that degeneracy of having 50+ bodies to understand women, and it's like, bro, like you grew up Muslim, that's BS. Like people accuse him on the podcast of like, oh, who hurt you? I think somebody did hurt that dude because the way he talks to women, bro, like obviously they're like hoes and like they act out, but he brings them on the show. So
Yeah.
it's like I respect him, his work ethic, he's fit, but I just can't respect the giving men advice. I mean, I feel like the red pill, the red pill movement, I think it helps guys who are extremely on one end. Like I talked about this with Razak. But there's just so much like BS in red pill, and Islam just fixes that. And you can have up to 4 wives. You can, not for everybody, but the nikah is so simple and easy. Nowadays in U.S. it's a little different.
I was just
but
gonna say
yeah.
it's not easy no more, bro.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into that, but the whole marriage thing. But yeah, man, you got any topics to discuss or?
So I like what you're talking about. Like again, this goes back to influencers, bro. Like, what does everyone do when they get home from work exhausted? What do they do?
Yeah.
They just start watching videos. And not say I don't do it, I do it. But it's like, that's the new economy. Like, that's what people are doing. Like, 100 years ago, when they were trying to make reliable transportation in the United States. Everyone wanted to travel. Everyone wanted to travel. Everyone wanted to travel. What did smart business people do? Henry Ford made the automobile. Boom. Now we got cars. International railroad system. People can get more connected. So that's what everybody was doing. They were trying to get around, and then someone capitalized on that need and made a way for them to get around. So now, what is everybody doing? Watching videos. So it's only smart for you to take advantage of this new market. If you don't, it's kind of oblivious. Like, there are people who do like this influencer space thing. They make more than multiple doctors combined.
Yeah. But I mean, some of it is like there's a lot of influencers out there that make their money in a haram way, and it's haram. Haram money's easy, bro. Like, for some reason, if it's haram, it comes very easy, and you don't have to work for it. That's a test in itself. Like, you know, I have a lot of, you know, close friends. Not gonna say names, but they're involved in sports gambling, Prize Picks, DraftKings. These things are these things are haram, bro, and they're making money off you. You're losing money actually. Even if you make money, it's haram. You know, it's like there's no blessing in it. I'd encourage everybody to stop if you're doing sports gambling. Yeah, man. But what are we at? What were we talking about?
Fresh and fit.
Fresh and fit. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Influencer space.
Influencer
Yeah,
rich, you could say.
yeah. I know
a
if
good
the
example.
I know if the fresh and fit guy sees this, he's gonna call me a.
Probably not. Probably not gonna see it.
He won't see it. He won't, yeah, but when I blow up, you know, inshallah. Not like in that way, but like, you know what I mean, like. Shout out Osama, but you know, there's a video of Osama where, like, you know that video they show on the news where he's speaking in Arabic and they have subtitles. Like,
That's why he said blow. Shout out.
yeah. I'm not I don't support that NSA, FBI. But yeah, like,
Funny guy, bro.
there's a video.
Yeah, I know the video.
But he's
The video.
apparently he was talking about Palestine in that video, and
Was
but
he? I
they,
don't know.
they changed the subtitles for the news. That's
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. Osama was antis. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. What else has been up?
So, going back to the influencer thing, this just was on my mind right now since you brought it up. I think Fresh and Fit is a great example of like what a large audience has the potential to do. So, if you build an audience around a certain thing, like say the red pill, then you're just going to get a bunch of people who think and act like that. So that's where your reach is going to extend. And then you have the power to change people's mindsets. You have the power to change people's actions, everything. So it is a huge responsibility. You know, Fresh and Fit just came to mind because it's just very easy example to nitpick. But I mean, there are so many other examples. Like even I think the number one podcast in the world right now is Joe Rogan Experience. And he's been going for years and years and years. There are people who go on his podcast just to get publicity. And like, they'll make successful careers of themselves just by being on someone's show. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, you can go from making no money to then making $100,000 in a month just from speaking with someone on a camera. Like,
the Patrick CC video.
yes, I did. Shout out Patrick CC. I just thought that was crazy. I'm just like we've never ever existed in a time where something like that could happen ever. I think that's just a very great opportunity if you know how to take advantage of it in the right way.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Joe Rogan back on YouTube. When he was on Spotify, I didn't really see a video on there. I don't know, maybe they added it, but I just like the YouTube.
You could watch his
Yeah.
videos if you turn it over.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like YouTube, the UI.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Joe Rogan. I just think he's like he's a bro. You know, he brings on knowledgeable people, and sometimes he tries to like act like he know. Sometimes he brings on guests dumber than him, and he tries to act like he's smarter, or he's like saying something very intellectual. But he's just like any of us, bro. He's a bro with a podcast. He's just a good speaker, a good talker. Um, you know about this guy named Patrick Bet David?
Yes.
Yes. So I was a fan of Patrick Bet David because of the way he speaks. He's so interesting. He keeps you intrigued. Turns out the guy has Zionist supporters on his podcast, and he tries to play like middleman. But obviously, we know. I don't know. I don't want to accuse him. But what kind of rubs me the wrong way is I was a fan of him too because he promotes family values, Christian beliefs. I'm not a Christian, but I like that instead of the whole liberal thing. But then I found out how he made his money. Patrick Bet David made his money from an MLM insurance scheme. So they're basically taking advantage of people. MLM schemes, you make money from recruiting. What does that mean?
It's a pyramid.
Oh, pyramid scheme, yeah. So it's a pyramid scheme, and that's how he made his hundreds of millions of dollars. And there was a YouTube channel, very small channel, called him out on it, exposed him on a video with evidence. And then he got on their next episode to defend himself. But when they gave the evidence and allegations, he just started talking about his life, his upbringing, like completely switching the topic. And you wouldn't even notice because the guy's such a good talker. He's such a good salesman. So he deflected from the question. And he does this in a lot of his debates where if he doesn't want to answer the question, he'll just start talking about he's from Iran and like bro, like answer the question, so I'm a fan of how he talks. He's a good salesman, but I just don't like how he made his money. Same thing with Andrew Tate. I know he made a lot of his money off the cam girl thing. He's a new brother. He's a Muslim. He's learning. I just don't like how he made his money. And that doesn't mean I couldn't be friends with him and sit down and talk with him, but I would call him out on his BS. You made your money from an MLM scheme. You're good at it, but took advantage of people. So, what's your thoughts on that?
The question is, sorry, I just need a question
Yeah.
to focus
Oh,
on.
my bad. I'm getting better at the podcasting. Have you heard of Patrick Bet David? Like, what's your thoughts on him? Like,
Yes. So, he is a great entrepreneur. He owns multiple businesses, and for a while when I was exploring a bunch of influencers, he was definitely one that I landed on. He is a great speaker, and he also has a podcast.
yes, amazing.
I think it's just like people who make so much money, like accumulate a lot of wealth, they often always end up in the influencer podcast space because people want to tune in and see, okay, how do you think? What do you do? How can I replicate what you did so you can be successful?
You see, LeBron James started
LeBron James started a podcast. I see. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And that's also, I think, a result of what we were just talking about, like the content economy, the creator economy, the influencer podcast economy. That's definitely why. I mean, they know that.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing it. There's no coincidence why every successful entrepreneur is doing that. I think with every single one of them, it's like, I like a lot of this stuff they have to say, and then I take the good and I just leave the rest. I also think there's a problem, especially with young people, just kind of idolizing celebrities or like caring too much about celebrities' lives. Like I'm fans of a number of creators. Right now, my favorite YouTuber is Hamza. Love his videos. I watch all his videos. But even that guy, I like a lot of the stuff he says, and then the stuff that's like ethically, I don't agree with
The
it.
dating stuff?
Like not even like the entrepreneurship stuff, because it's like if someone rich is teaching you how to get rich, just like take it in and just like think about it. But if there's an ethical issue, I take the good, leave the rest, and I just keep it pushing. And that's what you should do with all human beings. Like no one is some perfect source of knowledge that you should just, unless this person is like your mentor in a specific field.
Yeah.
Like if
Hamza,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
With Hamza, I love his content. I think I watch it for. I won't try to watch it like too much, like, cause I'll find if I do that too much, like I watch too much self improvement, I just go down a rabbit hole of watching videos but not actually doing anything. But with Hamza, I like, if I want to get motivated, I'll watch his content, and he has good talks about discipline, focus. I know his story. He was
Pakistani.
He's Pakistani. His dad was, I know his story. I've heard it. If you want to go out there, listen to it. I'm not going to talk about another man's story, but it's very inspirational. And but there's certain ways he lives his life. I'm not going to go to him for deen advice because he doesn't follow that. And that's, inshallah, he gets guided to the straight path. But he's better in certain areas than I am. So, like you said, take the good from the bad.
Yep.
Inshallah, I want to, like, that's the one thing I like about the online sphere is the people. Like, once you get to a certain place, you can collaborate with, if you have leverage, you have an audience, you can collaborate with all these successful people that you grew up watching, and now you can, take things from them, gems like business gems, life gems. And I've noticed that when I try to sit down with people now, like even non-influencers, like even if they're not Muslim, there's something you can take from that person, in the way they carry themselves, knowledge, anything like you can take from somebody. So I try to think about that, but like what time is it? We'll go for like 5 more minutes. I don't know. Any last thoughts? Any last like?
So I think what we covered in this episode, and kind of what everyone watching has come to the conclusion of, is that this new creator economy, this new creator space, there's a lot of good that comes from it. There's a lot of bad that comes from it, and you have to be really responsible. Don't just aimlessly consume stuff. Try to take it in objectively as hard as that can be. Formulate your own rigid values, and then see how what you are digesting, see how that plays into it. Take the best out of everybody. This person's, mashallah, amazing entrepreneur. Let me learn from him. This guy has an incredible body, he has an incredible diet, he has an incredible physique. Let me learn from him. This person has a great family life. Let me learn from him. And you're just taking all of these little kind of like Legos, and you're building up your own life, and you're building up your own unique identity from bits and pieces of the things that help you build that up, plus your own unique life experience. And I think that's just what art is, period. Like, music is the same way. Sampling people.
I want to talk about music a little bit.
Sure.
We're gonna get deep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow the Islam. I know we talked about the music thing.
Yeah.
People say music is haram or halal. I don't know what. I'm not a scholar, and I know different scholars have different opinions. And I still listen to music. I try to leave it off during Ramadan. I still listen to music. I was an artist. I still write music. I don't really record anymore. It's just not what I want to be known for. Might be for somebody else like you. For me, I'd rather do other stuff. But I do still have a love for it. But I see both sides. I see why people say music can be halal, because there's an influence. It's like poetry. It's like like there was poets back in the day of the Sahaba that influenced people.
Yep.
So you can use your influence to, like the Macklemore song, all these things. But I also see, because I've made music, that how it affects the emotions, the ups and the
Yep.
downs. You're listening to a sad song while you're depressed.
And then you get more sad.
You get more sad. The frequencies, especially with hip hop, like the 808s, where they say it messes with your frequency of your energy, and you get more anxiety. Like, for example, Ryan Garcia, you see the fight? So there was a big boxing fight. Ryan Garcia, the guy who won, in his pre-fight in the locker room, he was playing classical music, Beethoven. And and then Devin Haney was playing rap, hip hop.
Yeah.
And there's people that say, geniuses, but when they're doing, or even artists, while they're doing their art, they listen to classical music to get the brain going. So it's also like dives deep into like the industry, like what are they pushing certain sounds for certain reason, for control, for it sounds like conspiracy theorists, but look at what we're seeing, bro. Sexy Red. Uh, there's bars in her song where she says, "I'm a bee, I'm a hoe."
Yeah.
Like girls, obviously this is pushed out by the industry, and
Yeah.
there's
Little
more,
girls look up to that.
little girls twerking, and like,
Yeah.
and we already live in an over sexualized society, and now we have little girls twerking, and then we have like we have gay people, who a majority of pedos are gay people. Like like
I didn't even know that.
it's a fact. Look it up. And I'll look it up myself. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But somebody's gonna say, "Oh, that article is like, like, or the stats are fake." But there's videos out there of these guys doing predator catches on stream,
I've seen them.
and a lot of them will be gays, be
Yeah.
gay men.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing to see. The society's going that way, but like, what's your thoughts on what I talked about with music and the halal haram, and then like
Yeah.
the industry, like as an artist, like I just want to know your thoughts.
So we did cover this in the last episode, and I gave a little bit of my thoughts, but just a very condensed version of what I believe. I believe like not even just music, but all media is discretion, right? You have to have discretion. Like, you gonna try and tell me, like, okay, 50 Shades of Grey, halal or haram?
Haram. Yeah.
Okay, why? Is it because it's a movie, or is it because what the content of the movie is? The content of the movie. And then, like, there's, I don't know, Finding Nemo. I mean, I'm sure you could find one crazy person to say it's haram, but it's permissible. It's a kid's movie. It's a good theme.
Yeah.
So I just categorize all media like that. TV, movies, music, books. There were poets back during the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And some of them had really great things to say, and others had really disgusting, vile things to say. So I think it's the content of the media that you are consuming, like we were talking about earlier. How does it influence you? How does it influence other people? And that discretion should be black and white. So you should not be talking about or influencing others to do things that lead them to a life path that is not good, according to scripture. So that's really where I lie. That's why I deleted all my old music. I mean, it was a hard thing to do because you have an emotional connection to your creations artistically. But, I mean, I scrapped it. Intuition dropped last August. All clean music. It's great. I've had people review it. I've had Muslims review it. They love it. They like the words. They like the emotion it makes them feel. It's not like, all right, I'm going to go do so-and-so with this person, or I'm going to go steal this from this person or kill this person. Like, it's just like, be yourself, love your friends, try to be a better person every day. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Of course, I'm growing and learning. Like, if you consume too much media, even if it's good, it can still be a distraction. You should always occupy your time with what is better. But as far as just like a gavel slam, no.
Yeah.
But on the other side, like, I completely understand why someone would say, like, oh, music or just media in general is not permissible, because, like, if you look at where we're at now as a society, it's very hard to mediate, right? I mean, you could just you could get a brand new iPhone, download TikTok. Within 3 swipes, you're seeing some crazy stuff.
Right.
So it's like again, it's all discretion based. Some people are very strict when it comes to that. I respect it. Some people have self-control. I respect it. For people that have no self-control, better to just throw the whole damn phone away. I wasn't going to throw your phone, obviously. But that's my thoughts. Just have a strong discretion and know what is right and what is wrong fundamentally. And then naturally, you'll just do better things. You'll consume better things.
I think for those out there who are like they just started their journey in Islam, and they're on this high of like, I'm praying, I'm reading Quran, praying 5 times a day, going to the masjid. iman is fluctuates. So when you eventually you're gonna come down from that high, natural high. You can't give up. You can't be like, okay, I'm not at the same place I was. So do something different. Change your approach. Become more disciplined. And it's like I said, it's easier said than done. But I really appreciate you, Shmoney Mo.
Thanks for having me,
Hijazi.
Hadis. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just want to say, bro, Shmoney Mo Hijaz, Muhammad Hijazi. Can I say your full name?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you already did.
Yeah,
There
I
you
can.
go.
I could bleep it out. Bro, like, there's not just as an artist, but I see like you could be a leader. You could be, I've seen you speak before, public speaking. You could be something bigger than what you think you are. And when someone told me that boosted me up. So now I'm saying it to you, that I see it in you. You could be a leader, you could be a speaker, you could be a businessman, entrepreneur, content creator, whatever you want to do, because you have that personality. And I think sometimes, I don't know if you go through this, but I go through this where I have self-doubts. And then, I'm like, I'm not meant to do this. Like, I'm not good enough. But you have to tell yourself you're good enough, have self-belief. But when that one person comes along and says, yo, you could be great, that just like boosts you. So I hope I did that. I hope people in the audience see, and the viewers see that. Prom pics. But yeah, bro. Thank you. What time are we? This is perfect. 58 minutes. All right, y'all. Check him out. I'm gonna link Hijazi's Instagram and his channel below. Probably be in the title as well. But I don't even know what to call this pod. Like the influencer sphere, something like that.
That's perfect.
Yeah, navigating the influencer sphere. Because whether we admit it or not, everybody is following somebody and being influenced. Yeah. Whether that's Donald Trump or
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate or
Sexy Red.
or if Myron Gaines or like whatever his name is. Shout out Myron Gaines. I'm trying to collab though, for real. Not be with women, but like just collab. He's probably gonna be like, hell no. But get your Sudanese brother on, bro. But yeah, bro. Any last words?
No comment. Thanks for having me, and subscribe to the Hairy Man podcast. I also want to tell you, you have it, and to just post something as much as you can. It doesn't have to be every day. Maybe just 2 things a month, then
It's
3 things a
honestly
month, then 4 things a month.
Even if I did, like, I have to be more consistent with uploading, but even if I did one podcast a month, I should just clip them and then post the clips, because that's what gets it going. Do you post on TikTok or?
Man, you want to start a whole new podcast episode, don't you?
10 minutes.
Okay. Do I post on TikTok? I did for a bit last year. I was like, okay, how do people discover new music nowadays? TikTok, Instagram Reels. And I'm like, okay, well, the only reasonable thing is to go where the music is listened to and discovered and post there. I posted so much, and I took so much advice, and I like followed pages that were in my niche and like tried to synthesize what they were doing. Like, oh, okay, this is how you pick a location, this is, you make an acapella video, you talk about yourself, you give them a hook, and you hold their attention, and you do this and you do that. And it's just like, I did that for so long, I got so burned out, bro. The app started to just,
Baby steps.
bro, the app started to turn my brain into goo.
TikTok, yeah, I don't even.
Yeah, so it's just like, here's where I'm at. Do I love music? Yes. Will I always continue to release great music? Yes. Do I want music to be my career, like lifelong? I don't think so
That's why I
anymore.
said I think you could do way more than
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like when I started to obsess over like posting on TikTok and Reels and like all this short form stuff, and like, I'm going to get this many views, and this many views are going to go to my Spotify and listen. And then when I have this many followers, I can go sell tickets to an event. But it's just like, I literally started to hate making music.
You know what I think is interesting is what you said, a lot of people having podcasts, is like Mike Tyson or all these people, is they were something before the internet. Like even Andrew Tate, he was a fighter. He made money. You know,
Play
he,
chess.
he played chess. He had something to talk about. A lot of people, they'll just start influencing without living life, going out, getting jobs, traveling, having family relationships, marrying somebody, like um, they'll just start, just to get views. And I feel like, have you been caught in that? Like I've been caught in that where I'm posting to get views, but I'm not making meaningful content, and I'm not living it. Like I thought about vlogging too at one point, but then I watched these vloggers and how much they don't really enjoy the experience of the trip or whatever they're vlogging. They're just doing it for the content.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, live in the moment. Like, okay, we're here, we're filming this, but you know, we're gonna go about our day, and I don't have to like. That's one thing I don't vlog, is because I don't want people to know about my personal life, what I do. I kind of want to be mysterious in that sense. Maybe in the future, but I just want to grind, with my head down, post content, but nobody should know like what my routine is.
Little
The
details.
little details. Like nobody should know. Oh, this is my mom's house, and like
Yeah.
this is like
Absolutely not.
yeah.
I would agree. So, you said a lot of good things, but I think the string that I'll pull on is you could always be more. So like I said, like I love music. I'll always create music. I'll always be releasing music. Like I'll still be posting about my releases, but like am I so obsessed about reaching a certain number of listeners and then eventually making it to Rolling Loud or what have you? No. Like I'm at a state in my music business or career where I control everything. Like I have a team of producers, have video editors, I have a space that I can go and perform. Like I have a team that, on the knock of a dime, if we want to throw a show this year, we can throw a show. So I'm in the maintain stage. I can maintain that. I'm happy with that level. Some people say, oh, you're content. Oh, you stopped growing. No, it's just like I'm thinking ahead. Like, were the past 6 years of making music a waste because I don't want this to be my lifelong career and I don't want that to be my sole source of income? Absolutely not. I learned how to mix audio, make video, how to get up on a stage in front of hundreds of people and express myself. I learned how to sell myself as an entity, sell myself as a brand. So I learned business skills, I learned speaking skills, I learned digital media skills. I learned entrepreneurship skills. I learned how to put pieces together. What do you think? All the cover art, music video, like that's all a business. So,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're good. I mean, just for anybody who's like who, not to say give up on what you're doing because it gets hard. That's not what I did, but I'm learning. Okay, I feel like I'm ready to pivot. I feel like I'm ready to try something new using the skills I've acquired. So don't be scared to jump into that because like I think it's like it's called the law of
Traction?
no, not the law of attraction. It's like the law of lost gains or like the anxiety of lost gains. Basically, I've been in this thing for so long, like why quit now? Even though there is something more you could be. Never try to limit your natural direction because people grow and evolve.
It's whatever your heart wants, because and if you're chasing the right things, you're going on the straight path, your heart will take you in the right direction. Because I was making music videos, my life took a different turn, and when I was making them, I thought this is going to be my career.
Yep.
And then I just didn't like it anymore. I didn't like the environment, didn't like dealing with clients. I always wanted to make my own content, so I pivoted, and now I'm doing what I love. Obviously I work a job, but like doing what I love, and that's the goal, to keep it going, be consistent. But yeah, I do think once you have that thing that you're obsessed with, don't give up. Because I know a lot of people that have given up, and it's a lot of it is laziness, which I struggle with as well. A lot of it is self-doubt, A lot of it is outside people telling you what to do. But whatever your heart wants, as long as it's halal, go for it. That's my.
I would agree. And be ready to pivot. Be ready to know when it's time to make a new decision.
Exactly. I think we're going to end it there. We had a good pod. Long pod. But I'm going to timestamp this up and clip it. But thank you all. And shout out Shmoney.
Hey, this is how immigrants do. We say goodbye 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And then you walk out to the car and you say goodbye again.
Yeah, we're about to say bye like 10 times. Bro.
See ya. Thanks. It's very refreshing to know, like, oh, we're on the same wavelength. We're having the same observations about life and about business.
Baraka Bros is, even though everyone's doing different things, they're on the same journey, right? Like,
say what's up.
what's up? What's up?
Where we at? Where we at?
We're at Camp North End. Kind of despise this place.
And he was telling me this used to be different when he was around here. Now it's all gentrified. We got coffee shops and
I mean, people still used to come here for like photo shoots, but like whenever someone would hit me up and be like, I love this podcast, bro. I'm being straight up with Shmoney, man. Whenever one of my clients would hit me up and say, yo, shoot at Camp North End, I'm like, bro, I've been there like 10 times.
I've been here 10 million
Yeah.
times too. But guess what? I think it's a great creative
No,
space.
it is. This was a good spot. I actually liked people walking by because it gave a new effect to my pod, and I think it'd be interesting for the audience because people listen to a podcast that like it's kind of boring sometimes, and if like people have short attention span, so like the people walking around, us looking, and I think it was interesting. So shout out Shmoney.